Take inventory. Write down the first 5 people that come to mind that you talk to the most. Are they fueling you or are they depleting you? Are they an asset or are they a liability? Are they there for you? Or are they there for what you provide? Welcome to the Femme Fit Entrepreneurs Podcast. We're your hosts, Aurelia Michael Holmgren and Brit Inez. Here we talk all things health, wealth, womanhood, and of course, ownership. So sit back or stand up straight on that treadmill and enjoy today's episode. What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Femme Fit Entrepreneurs Podcast. I am half of your hostesses with the mostesses, Aurelia, and you know who my host is, Brit, and is my bestie. And if you are new, welcome to the Femme Fit Entrepreneurs Podcast, where we talk all things health, wealth, womanhood, and of course, ownership. And it is bittersweet that today is our final recording for season 1. It's really sweet though, because I know I have been wanting to do this for a long time and I couldn't figure out why I hadn't pulled the trigger. And then Britt was just talking about something one day and I was like, what if we started? And we started playing with names. And next thing you know, we got mics, we got production quality, we got light, we had everything going. The whole bit. So we're going to dive right in. So we start always talking about the weekly tea. What is going on in our lives right now, particularly with prep. So we are in prep now. For those that don't know, Britt and I are competing together, which means I'm going to see her in less than 2 months. Finally, we've only met in person 3 times, y'all, which is kind of crazy because it feels like I've known her. And technically too, because she didn't know I was coming that one time that I surprised her.
Yeah.
But I got the videos for proof. But right now I am 5 weeks out and 1 day from my qualifier in San Diego. I am exhausted. My legs are like jello. I think I did 2.5 hours of cardio yesterday, split up. It was a little wild, but I had to make up some cardio and you just got to do what you got to do. But all of the vlog, I call us the vlog squad, have been holding me down. I have my own personal vlog. Britt has her vlog. My girl Shantae, my girl Andrea, Nisi, Amber, Tony, and some of y'all are now creating stuff because I've been calling y'all out. We need more Black and brown women in the bodybuilding world, showing us their day-to-day, keeping us encouraged, showing us the real. And I actually got to hang out with Shantae and Andrea in LA, which was so amazing because I had never met them in person, but it felt like I knew them forever. So every day I'm pretty much deciding in the morning where my energy level is. I'm not committing to anything. I'm letting people know there's a chance I might not be at this. I could be at that. I'll be there for 30 minutes, just being honest about where my body is. Because Britt and I talk all day on Marco Polo, and you should see the roller coaster of our energy. Like we'll be up, got a good leg day pump, and then midday it's like, friend, I got my Nikes on, but I just can't do it. How's yours going, boo?
Girl, same. So I am 4 weeks, 1 day out. So I'm a week before you. Yes.
Which means it's going to be peak week, which means I can't go see her because you know I would.
Yes.
You know I would.
She's the queen of surprises. You hear me? She was not playing when she said she surprised me for my birthday. But the prep itself, y'all, is going good. I'm excited, but I'm also exhausted. I am pushing myself to a place I have never been to before, to bring conditioning I have never brought before, and I am feeling every bit of it. So again, the people that you surround yourself with, the people that you talk to, you confide in about what you're going through is everything. Like we've talked on in our podcast alone about your winner circle and your inner circle. And I know for me, it has been a lot of them holding me down, in those moments when I'm just feeling like, I know I got this. Mama ain't raised no bitch, but I just need a little bit of.
Or the prep goggles where you're like, do I really look that conditioned? And I'm like, girl, I've been praying for your tie-ins every night before bed.
And they finally entered the chat. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a moment of
Okay.
silence just for those alone.
Oh my
But yeah,
goodness.
it's been a ride. It's been a roller coaster. Just like you, it has been a lot of energy management because
Mm-hmm.
I am just surrendering to the fact that although I am this type A personality that wants to do all of these things, my body is going to let me know what it wants to do. And half the things on that list some days are just not going to get done. So I
Yeah,
have
and
been
it'll tell you
practicing.
on the spot.
Oh yeah, and on the moment, like, oh, you know that thing you're about to go do in 5 minutes, or we're gonna go take this nap for about four
Yeah.
hours,
You
and
know that
we'll let
cardio you
you know.
thought you was about to finish? Go ahead and get off now. Cause I'm
You're
done.
done.
Try me later.
We're done.
Call me back.
Yeah. We'll try this again at another time. So there's been a lot of
Okay.
practicing grace. You know, a lot of things that I feel like we've been talking about, not only just with each other, but also on this channel, like with our own other vlog squad, like in their comment section too, because I think that's just a big thing. It's just releasing the idea that you have to be everything at one point for everyone and everywhere. And you just simply cannot when you are focusing on this goal that is taking so much of you, not only mentally, but physically, emotionally, and everything. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see your face in the place. We're going to be cutting up. Y'all going to be sick
Oh
of
my
us.
gosh. The matching outfits. Prepare to be sick of me. We have 2 pair of matching
Mhm.
sneakers, right? So far.
3.
We're gonna have we have 3. We have the
Isn't it
beige,
3?
we have the
We got
pink Pumas.
the Pumas of those. I don't know why I thought we had a third one. Okay, 2.
Because
But
we
3
about to
seems
get
old.
some. That's what we need to make that new
Okay, then
share
maybe that's the third
note.
one. Yeah.
So we'll have 3. We have
Mhm.
matching MTV shirts. We got the matching pink tops because you got me that pink top.
Yeah,
The
well, we
the
got the whole set
workout
that's
one.
matching.
We got
Yeah, I got
well,
the shorts too.
welcome to check-ins. Okay, so we have the whole short. Perfect. So we'll need like
Yeah.
1 or 2 more things. Hmm.
Hmm. It'll be a good little kiki.
Oh yes, I can
So
not
yeah.
wait.
And a lot of just what we have been focusing on, not only just with our own journey, but with our journey with our businesses, has just been defying distractions because so much so much of what we are working towards, and not only just with getting on stage, but also like with our respective businesses, our personal lives, it really has been just managing not only our energy, but how do you manage those distractions that are around you? And by distractions, they can take the form of so many things. It can be habits, it can be thoughts, it might be people, or even events. So we
Hmm.
have had to be really honest about things that are getting in the way of us being able to stay fully focused and fully locked in on what we're working towards and the growth that we want to see in those areas and aspects. And I think one of the biggest things that holds a lot of us back, and even ourselves too, and we check each other when it's happening, is thoughts. Because your mind can talk you into or out of how capable you are of doing something.
Right.
Sometimes we could be really doubtful. You might get in your head about where you are because you're playing the comparison game, or someone might have told you their 2 cents about something, and it's really nothing personal, but they're projecting something onto you, and now you got to sit here and work through that, right?
Hmm.
But there's times when if you're not careful, you don't pick up on it and recognize it, or have people that you can lean on to call you out and be like, hey, you know what, I don't think that's really you, I think that's kind of them. Then it can stop you from continuing to move forward, and we just don't want that to happen. So
Absolutely not.
being, yeah, we have come too far
We ain't
to
come
be
this far to
stopped.
come this far.
Listen, say that again.
We ain't come
Okay.
this far to come this far. I have to remind myself that every morning when I feel bad about saying no. It's like it's not like I'm going to do 3, 4, 5 nationals this year. Like it's a 1 to 2 hitter quitter. So I need to get this done. Like this needs to be the focus.
Mhm.
Means even if it is going to see like I had to cancel a birthday party tonight because it's going to be late. I'm going to be tired. It's going to be loud. I need to rest my voice because I'm singing on Sunday. There's going to be alcohol. There's going to be food. There's going to be so many temptations. There's going to be energy. There's a lot of energy exchange. If y'all didn't see the bestie got me, I got to keep my crystals on because the energy exchange can be, I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning. I could get sick. Like, I don't need all of that. So really focusing on, like you said, like my thoughts, removing doubts and just staying focused.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, just like with letting people know too, like you kind of touched on it too, letting people know, like, hey, I may or may not be there. You might notice that some people can't occupy the same space that they once were having in your life. You might have to be like, you know what, I'm a pause on this. I'm gonna resume it a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Or now I gotta push a pause button because the energy that they might be giving, it might be unintentional, it might be subconscious, but it could drain you. And if you're not careful, you can look up and feel like, man, why am I feeling doubtful all of a sudden? Why am I
Yeah.
feeling insecure about this all of a sudden? And we don't really fully always understand the impact of other people's energy and what that has to do with us and how that affects us. It might even be people who want you to, they only want to hang out if you're eating and drinking. So I have definitely had that conversation with folks and being like, hey, you know what? Not interested in either of those two things right now. So if there's nothing else you want to do that's not centered around food and alcohol, then I'll see you after July, you know?
Peace. Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
have to be okay with that. And you have to be okay with that because no one else has to do the things day in and day out that you have to do. And whatever the goal is that you have, for us, is getting on stage. Ain't nobody else standing on stage half naked but us. That's it. Not the people who was inviting you to the
I'm gonna get
party or
judged, not you.
right. They're gonna be sitting in the audience with their clothes on, eating whatever they want to eat. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, so it can feel like, and I touched on this too this season, that it can be a bit selfish to be like, no, I'm just gonna choose this over that. But it's more so choosing yourself and it's choosing your goals and it's choosing your dreams and your passion and going for it because no one else is gonna be able to do that but you. And that
Mm.
also extends to events. You know, like you were saying, there's some things that you just don't want to necessarily go to put yourself in. I think sometimes we have a hard time telling people no. And you have heard me say
Yep.
that no is a complete sentence. And I think sometimes people can feel a bit guilty and saying, well, I should be there. I should do this. And if you have the willpower to do it and you have the energy to do it and attend, by all means, go for
Mm-hmm.
it. But don't put yourself in positions that you feel like you should be in because you don't want to hurt someone else's feelings. And it's a detriment to what you want to do because you know you're not going to be able to stick to your guns and stay strong by going to this event. And you're left at the end of that day with your decisions. So all of those are
Nobody
things
else.
that, yeah, all of those things can be distractions. Now we're not saying to cut people out, cut out a social life, not do that. You know, just put blinders on and just eat, sleep, train, and whatnot. Some people do that, but we're just wanting to bring to the table that we've noticed distractions that we've had to limit, and chances
Mm-hmm.
are, if you're feeling strained in some kind of way, you're feeling like something's not really flowing and clicking, then you might have some that you need to address as well.
Absolutely. And when it comes to the thoughts, please, the comparisons, I found myself when my weight wasn't moving for a strong 12 days, I stopped watching prep vlogs of people that were close to the amount of weeks out that I was because I started comparing myself and being like, dang, they look that good at 6 weeks or their weight is moving at 6 weeks. And so I started to compare and it's people that live all over the world and probably won't even be at my show. I was like, what if they're at nationals? And then when they come, and I kept forgetting that nationals comes after my qualifier, not the same day. So I was feeling like I had a hard time keeping my feet where they were planted because I was saying this week in my vlog. In my mind, I'm 2 weeks out because I was supposed to do a show May 25th, but I'm not 2 weeks out. So I have to keep saying, like, you are not 2 weeks out. You don't need to look 2 weeks out. You don't need to look 5 weeks out. But on the day of the show, that's when everything needs to pop. So definitely your thoughts can be your greatest asset or they can be your worst enemy. And when it comes to the people, you already know. I always say boundaries are where the tips of your fingers end and someone else's can begin. And everyone can't be on embracing terms. Everyone can't be in that inner circle. And as we're going up this mountain to personal victory, whatever that is for you, if it's financial goals, if it's family goals, you can't take everybody with you. You know, you trying to find your boo. You might not be able to hang out with all the single friends all the time. You need to start being around people who are in relationships or are married, getting fed in different ways. Don't feel obligated to bring people into your journey. I notice because I've been on both sides, chemistry cannot be denied and it should not be forced. You're not going to gel with everyone. Everyone isn't going to gel with you. So don't feel like And I know I personally can be like, oh, I'm about to do this challenge. Let me bring everybody in on it. And one friend one time was like, what if you just did this for yourself? What if you didn't make it about everyone else? Maybe this is becoming a comfort place for you and you might be a little afraid to do it on your own. And so I'm really finding that when it comes to people, I have to get more and more selective. And then when you were talking about the balance, we know that balance requires imbalances. In order for me to be the most successful bodybuilder right now, something has to give. It's not going to be my marriage. And there were moments where it was. So I had to snap back, like, hold on. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation, because at the end of the day, when bodybuilding is over, my husband will still be here. Bodybuilding will not. So really knowing my actual priorities versus just what's right in front of me. So the real question I think comes down to it is, are you willing to do whatever you need to do? Are you willing to remove yourself? Are you willing to remove these distractions from the different areas in your life so that you can really push forward with excitement, with joy, and with the energy you need? Because oftentimes our energy can only be divided, can't be multiplied.
Definitely. And when you do ask yourself that question and you commit to something, just know that commitment, it's going to trigger some people. It's going to trigger some people, and you're going to get some kind of comments. You're going to get some kind of whatever. It might be to your face, it might be behind your back, but it's going to trigger people because it is exposing that someone else doesn't have the self-discipline to commit to something at the level that you're doing. It doesn't matter what the goal is, right? They might not aspire to step on stage. They might just want to lose 10 pounds. And here they see you pushing your body to this limit that's just like inconceivable to like 99% of the population. And they see you do it and they're just like, well, dang, I'm over here struggling with the last 10 pounds I've been trying to lose for the last 5 years. And they may make little comments, slick comments. Oh, I could never do that. I could never do that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool.
That's okay. Respect. I believe you. You better than me.
Yeah, you said it. We all got choices.
You better than me. You said it, not me. I'll take it. And people, because people criticize what they crave. The amount of times I've been told, particularly in the musical theater world, like, oh, you doing the most. Oh, that's so extra. Yeah, because being average is accepted and almost celebrated. Being good is tolerated. Being great is criticized. And being elite, who knows what's happening, because they're too busy. We're too busy being surrounded by people that I don't even know what you would consider that. But I'm on the elite status right now. I'm not trying to be average, good, or even great. We already did that. We did that 2 seasons ago. Now I want to be excellent. I want to be elite. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think a lot of times people can even try to sabotage if they really are that insecure about it. It's happened to me before in preps. Like I can remember a prep I had where I was dating someone, and as you know, the prep cravings are real. Like they're real. They're waking up out of your sleep. Listen. And it was one night I woke up hungry. It was like 2 in the morning, it had to be. And I was like, man, I'm starving. I'm really hungry. And he was like, I can go get some Taco Bell. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, right. Taco Bell, right? I'm like, no, I'm good. And he got mad. He had the nerve to get a attitude with me and got upset because I wouldn't eat Taco Bell at 2 in the morning. And I'm just sitting here like at the time, you don't always see it when you're in it, but once you're out, you can see it for exactly what it was. It was just because I was getting to a place where he could see my level of discipline, which is so strong. It was triggering him. And he just wanted to pull me back a few notches and a few layers, a few levels. So just be really mindful when you do see people. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's your loved ones. It can be that may do things or even say things that are just counterproductive to what it is that you are going through and what it is that you're striving for. And that's where it really comes down to you standing on business and letting people know. Listen, you have to let people know and stand on your commitment and say, okay, that's cool. That's great. But I'm not going to do that because of XYZ. And once you say that, that's all that needs to be said. It's not a conversation. It's not a debate. It's not a discussion. It's a statement.
Adam just be like, you want some gum?
He trying or diet soda. That can work. You want to diet?
Right. You want me to go down because I keep my diet sodas in the car because I don't know how to act. You got to know yourself. Part of shielding your focus is knowing yourself. I keep 2 big things of cans in the car. So you have to physically go downstairs, get a can. So yeah, he'll be like, "You want some diet soda? You want some gum?" I can't.
Yeah, you gotta love them though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do? I guess this kind of came from, right, someone that you were having a conversation with about when it comes to defying distractions. So let's say people are going to, they are, like I said, I'm not going to this dinner. It's not a dinner, actually. It's just a party, not just, but you know what I mean. It's not like a formal dinner or anything like that. But what do you do when a birthday dinner comes up, someone you love, or your family has a gathering, like a baby shower, or there's a vacation coming up and you're just like, I don't know how to do this discipline that I've been doing in my own little bubble? Because it's easy when you're at home in your little bubble. How do I
Of
do
course.
this in the real world?
Yeah, then that's a great question. And I've had to practice that. My Go Good Hers have to practice that often too. So a few things. One is communicate upfront to people what time it is and what you're going to be on. So I have
Mm-hmm.
found that letting people know ahead of time, like, hey, I'm going to attend, fill in the blank with whatever it is, but I'm not going to partake when I get there, or I'm going to bring my own food. Letting them know upfront really helps, because then you don't wind up in a situation when you're there and then you're getting peer pressure to eat something because people are
Right.
just like, well, go ahead on and get it. It won't, a little
Mm-hmm.
bit won't hurt, you can get away with it, you can afford it.
Deserve
And I
it.
think yeah, and a lot of people, especially when you are really focusing on fat loss, weight loss, like a really physical goal, it's going to be uncomfortable for you to go through. And your loved ones don't like to see you uncomfortable. So sometimes when they are saying, well, hey, go ahead and have this and have that, it's not because they want to sabotage you. They just don't want to see you
Mm-hmm.
hungry and depleted and, looking like you need a sandwich. So sometimes it may be that. So don't get upset with them. Don't get mad at them, for it. But I do think that communication up front has to happen so that you're preparing them ahead of time. And then you could do it whatever
Mm-hmm.
you got to get to once you get there. Another
Right.
thing I always say is to eat before you go, because it's really hard, even for the toughest of us, to go somewhere on an empty stomach and expect to not eat. That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a party where it's finger food or whatever it may be. So as much as you can, I always recommend to eat before you go, preferably a meal that has carbs in it, if your macros allow that, depending on where you are in your journey. So that way you're a little bit more satisfied a little bit longer. So you're not sitting there feeling like you're missing out. I mean, granted, yeah, you're going to
Right.
smell food in your face, right? But if you're already going there full, you'll be less likely to want to snack, and just kind of eat just out of habit.
Right.
Um, Also, peep the menu ahead of time before you go. There may be some options on there or wherever you're going that you can enjoy, that you can
Mm-hmm.
indulge in, and still stay, relatively on track. Unless, you're weighing out all your food because you got a totally different set of goals and set of intentions. But a lot of times places you can make something work where you're going. But I think being able to go there ahead of time and check it out is going to be helpful. So then that way you're not sitting there the 10 minutes staring at the menu, figuring out what you need to get, and you just order something because you feel pressure because everybody looking at you because you standing
Right.
in the way between, them and their
The
meal.
leanest one at the table, like, they're like, really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But let me just say, I don't mind being that person, friend. I'm that person who will sit here and take 5 minutes to order because I'm ordering it a certain way. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Or I'm
like,
like, go
y'all be all
ahead.
right.
You
It's
can
just
order.
gonna
Y'all
be
can
last.
stand there. Yeah. Exactly. Put
Yeah,
me
I'm like, y'all
last.
got your
Mm-hmm.
drinks? Okay. All right. Now, so I
Right.
I think too, it's being really comfortable with the path that you're on and understanding that because you're on this path, your life is going to look different. And it's okay for it to look different. And I think sometimes we want to fit in so much that we stray away from the path that we know we need to be on because we just want to feel included. But the thing is, all those things that you have going on, you're going to be able to enjoy them and
Right.
also your success, but you got to stay the course in the meantime, you know?
Yeah. And
And
honestly, fall in love with potentially being unpopular.
oh yeah, I don't mind being the one bringing food in. I will be the one in a heartbeat bringing a whole meal into a movie theater in my purse with no problem. And
Oh,
I get the
come
looks.
on. With
I
my
get the
beaver
look.
honey mustard.
Listen, make no mistake. And you open it up, people start turning around and looking to see what you got because they don't smell like what they serve in the movie theater. Okay. And on that note, too, just please, just do your friends and family a favor. Don't bring tilapia in the movie theater. I learned that the hard way. I was in prep, girl. We went to a movie. I forget what we went to go see one time. The whole row, I opened up this little baggie of tilapia. The whole row turned and looked like, you got fish in here? I'm like, I'll be done in a minute.
You know what? I did that by accident. We were in the green room, my music, one of my shows, and I thought everybody during intermission was going to go to their rooms, but I guess they decided to have an event in the green room, and I had just heated up my fish, and they came in. They were like, "Party foul, never again," and they never let me live it down. It's awful.
So just be a little mindful of your food choices if you are going to bring food with you, or if you are just like, you know what, I don't care, I'm gonna eat whatever I want to eat, then more power to you. But those are a few things that have helped me navigate family events because, culturally we celebrate by eating and drinking and gathering. And I feel like a lot of people do too.
Absolutely. And I know, like, I went to a dinner one night. I brought my shrimp and I ordered the salad. And when the waiter walked away, I just dumped the shrimp in. I didn't need to bring my scale. Everything was already weighed and I was able to enjoy the moment. I know for me, if I'm like in off season, say, and it's not as strict, I also know that if I go to an event, if I start nibbling, I will not stop. So I have to be aware of like, okay, if we're going to be here for 2 hours, I'll get something around an hour and a half because I know once you get that taste of the sugar or the salt or whatever it is, it's going to be harder to say no. And honestly, I think Brit nailed pretty much everything I was going to say. So the only thing that I would add is for those that are working with coaches or trainers, be careful saying, and I'm still working on this. Oh, I can't have that. Or my coach said no, because even the people that love you to death are going to be worried when they feel like you sound like you're a little kid being told what to and not to do. Don't you pay this person? They won't really understand unless they're experiencing it. So just make sure that you're not kind of sounding like you'll be chastised. Like my coach already knows no one can be harder on me than me. So I don't really ever worry about what he's going to say as opposed to like how he knows I'm going to react to it. And, I think in general, the worst thing that you can do in life is constantly trying to adjust your thermostat to everybody else's temperature desire. I'm like, no, here's where I'm at. Put your coat on, or it's a little too hot for you. Go ahead, take your coat off, whatever you need to do. Even when I went to Mexico with my friend Roberto, who now he was inspired by what he saw me do. And now he's a lifestyle client with the same team. We found a supermarket. I have been practicing my Spanish. I was in there. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that. And even though I was allowed 2 dinners. So I had those 2 dinners with them and everything else I cooked. I saved money. They were all starting to worry about money and like, oh, how much am I spending? I didn't have that issue. And so people started to we would go out and they would now go to the supermarket. So sometimes you'll find yourself inspiring people, which all of it really is underlying inspiring. It's just that some people aren't ready to see themselves. And so really try not to bring too much attention to what you do. Be careful with those words. And you can do anything you want. You're just choosing not to,
Absolutely. And I think what has really helped over the years with me is once people see your commitment to yourself and to your goal, they respect it. They respect it so much more because like you talked about, this is my thermostat. This is where I'm on. This is where I'm at. Everyone else around you, if they see that you're wavering, then they're going to be like, they ain't really serious about that. They can do this. They can do that. But if you go into it with unwavering, like this is the path that I'm on, you ain't getting me off of it. There's no reroute. Right. There's no nothing else. Then they'll respect that too. So this weekend we have Mother's Day and we're all going to be hanging out. And I can't wait. It's going to be great. I already know I can't eat out. I can't get anything that's going to be there. So for me, not only am I going to eat before I go, but another thing that helps save me when I'm out is coffee and 0-calorie beverages. It can constant liquid. Yeah, it can just give you something to help you feel like, okay, I'm not just here just drinking ice water and just looking around at other people do stuff, right? So Also, using those little tricks and those little hacks can help. They can be appetite suppressants too if you are really hungry and really just struggling and starving too. So it's a lot of things that you can fall on. It's just remembering to remember.
What she said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk a little Q&A. So we know that a lot of our listeners are thinking about wanting to start a podcast, a vlog, a YouTube page. And since this is officially our last episode of season 1, tier, I thought we'd end talking about like top 3 lessons we've each learned from launching this podcast.
Yeah, that'll be great. So I think the first thing is don't overthink it. I've encountered this so much where I've talked to people that just want to do it, and then they're just like, oh, I got to figure out all these things, and I got to have my next stuff figured out, my next episodes, my next. I'm like, just start where you are and build the plane as you fly it. That's actually a model that I apply a lot in my personal life, business life, all that. And you don't have to have everything mapped out like A to Z. Just start. Right? Maybe you just got A to B mapped out, and then the B might be a lowercase b. Like, you might be a little asterisk next to it, right? So just be really flexible and understand that, as long as you have a general idea, it's going to grow and evolve and improve once you get going. But you'll never move anywhere if you just stay stuck in the analysis, like the analysis paralysis piece of it, right? You're never going to have all the information that you possibly can have. There's always going to be something else that you wish you would have done differently, want to do differently next time. But just getting started is the important part. And then also creating a process around it. I think when we manage so many different things in our lives, adding on something else like this can feel like such a huge burden. Like I kind of know that you kind of touched on it too, because I've been wanting to start a podcast for years. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know how this is going to all happen. Like, how am I going to make this shake with everything else I have going on? Like, how's this going to work? Having a process really helps. So that way you can know who's going to do what, if you're going to be doing it with someone else, or even if it's just a process for yourself, like your own set of process that you're going to have, like, okay, maybe on Sunday, I'm going to work on my episode idea. Maybe on Tuesday, I'm going to record. On Wednesday, I'm going to edit. Like whatever that has to look like for you and for your schedule. I think just creating like a process around it is going to help make it something that doesn't feel so overwhelming to you. And make sure you write it in pencil, because you are going to, adjust it as you go along, which is the whole point, because that's how you're going to grow. You're going to make mistakes along the way, know it, embrace it. I feel like we've grown just in our own little season.
Oh my gosh. We started on Zoom, y'all. We started on Zoom.
We did, y'all.
No microphones, no lighting. We just had no StreamYard. Like we just had an idea and a passion. And I have to give Brit her flowers because she's already the content queen. And she was able to keep us on track, y'all. If y'all saw this sheet that we use, oh my God. It has taken me some time to adjust. And I love a good spreadsheet. And even this one had a girl like leaning back in her chair. Like, okay, this is next level. But it's definitely even just pushed me to personally work on my content more, because she just makes it seem so seamless. And yeah, I thought in the beginning it would be a burden, but we have definitely found like, okay, which part you want to do? You want to do this? And we've shown each other a lot of grace. We've been so graceful with each other. And she'll be like, girl, I forgot to do this. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, yeah, that's bad that you did that. I don't even remember that she was supposed to do it. And then I'm feeling bad when she's like, she'll send me a message like, so the YouTube cover, I'm looking, I'm not seeing it. I'm like, because I downloaded it, but I didn't upload it into the drive. So I'm just really grateful for her. And the things that I've definitely learned is not to get caught up in the numbers, because to me, like, people are going to go back to this. The more people meet us, they're going to come back to these episodes. And so you can't get caught. Like if people want to share, like, don't feel like you have to force people. Just keep doing good work. Keep doing quality work. Do your research, but don't mimic other podcasts. Don't try to be like us, just like we weren't trying to be like other people. We set a standard for ourselves. And who knows what the next season will bring, but we just keep wanting to elevate in our personal lives and our professional lives. And now that's entering our podcast life. So your platform will grow more authentically when you show up more authentically, because if you're trying to be like everyone else, they can just, that podcast already exists. There's no need. So really making sure that you're focusing on you and not getting caught up in what this person's doing or that person's doing. And I think the last thing would be to go back to that inner circle. Hey guys, would you mind promoting this for me? It's not forcing. We keep trying to do this thing called life alone. Our reach is so much further if we bring other people into the process. So y'all stay tuned for something we got cooking up. You know, I'm not the best
so
cook. My husband's the cook, but we got something cooking up in the books, and I am
and we're cooking with gas too. Listen,
we coming, y'all. So I think I'd leave us off with a little challenge for you to go back and listen and or watch these episodes. You're gonna have some time. We're taking a little break, and pull 2 to 3 points or action steps that you can take into your life for the next few weeks, or even that you can start with a friend. Maybe you start your challenges. We also have some challenges on our Instagram page. So you can go on there and say, hey, let's do this challenge for the week. Whether it's, we talked about taking inventory of people in your life. We've talked about financial goals. We'll repost some of our financial tips, our Wealth Wednesdays, our Tap In Tuesdays. We'll have, the books we're recommending, the other podcasts we're recommending. And let us know what's working for you. Let us know what didn't quite work. If you need some insight on anything, topics you want us to cover, slide in our DMs or slide in the comments below. We want to hear from you. We want to connect with you, and we want you to help the Femme Fit Entrepreneurs grow.
Absolutely.
How does that sound, bestie?
It sounded great to me. So we are so appreciative for you guys, and we love the comments and we love the feedback. So I just want to take a moment and say thank you to everyone that has tuned in, whether you caught one episode, one of our reels, or whatever, whether you have liked, comment, subscribe, shared it out. We so appreciate it. And we hope that this has helped you grow in some way, whether it be in your professional life or your personal life, with your health, wellness goals. Like we said, we started this podcast because we have so many things that we share on a daily basis that we felt like we need to have this broader discussion because it touches so many of our lives, and we're all about growing together. So
absolutely. Oh, much more to come.
So much more to come.
Oh, man.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us know if there's topics that you want us to feature in season 2. If there's guests that you want to feature, if you want to be a guest and come hang out with us, we got space on the stream, y'all. Okay,
we got space. Yeah, we got plenty.
Yes, there's room for us all to get it. We would love to have you. So either comment down below. You can also send us an email too. And we are just gonna be here. So we got so much in store for y'all for season 2. We cannot wait.
See y'all soon. Peace.